Hey guys, it's been a little bit, but there's been an update. I recently found out I am pregnant with our third child, which is super exciting. I was not thinking that it was going to happen this quickly. And so, just to get to the point here, because I have to go soon, I just want to document this just in case. I've been doing a lot of research and just preparing myself um, for an outcome that may be unfortunate, but I am hopeful. Uh, I have irregular periods, so typically with every pregnancy, they have me come in for an early ultrasound. So this time was like no different. I told them that, my cycle could be 70 days, 50 days, 40 days, 30 days. It's just all over the place. So they had me come in, but I do track everything on an app called Flow and Period Tracker as well. So I'm pretty in tune. I can feel when my, ovary releases an egg. And I document everything. Plus, we were trying. So when we're trying, I really make sure I put all my symptoms and when I think I'm ovulating, etc. My last pregnancy, we used ovulation strips, and this time we didn't because we weren't really in a rush to. Have a baby right away. So we were just like not trying, if that makes sense. Um, so I went in for the ultrasound with my husband, and first of all, the ultrasound tech just sat there like very silently, which I feel like didn't help. Because usually they'll walk you through like, oh, this is your uterus and this is your ovary and etc. Um, but she stayed very quiet, and my husband are just like, we see the sac and we both look at each other and we're looking for the baby, even though it's super tiny at this point, because from what my calculations, I was only about 7 weeks and a few days. So she keeps doing her measurements and everything. And then finally, I just kind of ask her, like, okay, I see a sac, but like, where's the fetal pole, right? Um, and she was like, I'm not sure. You might be too early. Um, and the thing is that it's really hard because you want to ask all these questions, but the ultrasound tech can't really go into detail. Even if she does see something, she's not legally allowed to tell me, which I understand, but it makes it really hard, right, for a patient like myself to not be able to ask questions and get those answers right away, especially when it's something so dear and close to your heart, like being pregnant and wanting a baby. Um, so, anyways, we probably went for about 30 more minutes, or what seemed like an eternity, and still there was like no fetal pole, no heartbeat, nothing. She took all her measurements and she said, maybe they'll have you come back in about 2 weeks and do another ultrasound. Um, and that's kind of where it was left. And I went home really sad and confused because I know that so their calculations were showing that I was only 5 weeks and 6 days, and I had an ultrasound with my daughter at 5 weeks and I think 5 days, something like that. And you could see a heart rate and you could see a fetal pole. So I started, of course, researching because that's all I can do at this point. It was Friday, so I know I'm not going to be able to talk to the doctor or anything like that. And it was 4:30. They close at 5. Um, so I went, as soon as we got in the car, I just started researching, and then I'm seeing these things called blighted ovum, and that the gestational sac and the yolk sac might form, but maybe the embryo didn't form for some reason. Um, so I kind of just started going down this rabbit hole of like maybe I did something wrong, um, which didn't feel good at all. Um, so right now I kind of don't know. I did get a report back later that Friday, just stating that, they think it's a good idea to do an ultrasound in 1 to 2 weeks, to check for viability, and that my last menstrual period is not correlating with uh, the the size of the gestational sac and the yolk sac. And of course, in huge red letters, it said no fetal pole or cardiac activity visualized. Um, and I wish that would have been a phone call, to be honest. Um, there's I'm in the medical field, but of course, when it comes to like ultrasounds and OBGYN, I'm not too familiar with some of the medical terms that they use. So I saw something that said like less 5 tile. And so I thought that meant like less 5 percentile. Um, and so I don't know what that meant. And um, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, I do have hope that the baby is still growing as it should. But I just wanted to document, and I will be updating in the next like probably 2 weeks or so. We do have vacation coming up, so I don't want to do anything before that just because I'm not gonna. I know it might sound bad, but I'm not gonna enjoy vacation if it is a bad outcome. So I'd rather just wait a little bit further. If I am 5 weeks in, or right now actually 6 weeks, if I am 6 weeks, then by that point I'll be closer to like 9 weeks. So, and I think I'd feel better like them doing our fetal heart rate monitoring first. And if there's no heartbeat, then okay, do the ultrasound, but I don't want to look. Versus them just doing an ultrasound and then I see that there is still no baby. Um, so that is my update right now. And I will be back in about 2 weeks.